So we have just watched苍兰诀, which in English is
Love Between Fairy and Devil,
a new big hit show coming out of China, and today we're going to give our review of it. So we just finished watching episode 1 and there's a couple of things that we want to talk about. So firstly, the show seemed massive in scope. The set design was absolutely beautiful. I was quite shocked by how funny it was at times, and you also really noticed and liked the God of War's eyebrows.
He had fabulous eyebrows.
But before we get into depth on that, I just want to introduce to you what our background on watching these types of shows are before. And it's not fantastic. We've watched Shanheling before, which we watched last year, which is kind of in the same mode of Shenxia, you know, this kind of mystical Chinese fantasy show. But we didn't know anything about the show going into it, and we don't know too much. We haven't watched too many of these shows.
No.
So it's very interesting. We will say we do know Esther Yu because she was on a music competition program that we watched before, but we don't know her too well.
No.
But anyway, let's get on to the review.
I'm not really too clear on Chinese mythology or the mystical content of the show, but I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. It was really engaging.
Yeah, it's very different to Western kind of mythology. Western mythology often has gods, so whether that's Greek gods such as Athens or Hercules or Zeus or Roman gods. Athena. She's a female god in Athens, and she names the city. She's right. Athena, and she names the city Athens. Yeah. Anyway, in Chinese culture, it's very orientated around the mixture of Buddhism and Taoism and Confucianism, and there are like these mortal and immortal beings, and they cultivate their spirits through hard work. But like I say, we're not experts on it, so it was cool. We're new to it.
It was very floaty, I think, and ethereal, and
very floaty and ethereal. It was definitely not set in the human space, was it? I know in Chinese you have Renjian, which is where the humans live, and then you have above Tianxia, I forget the name of it, but it's where like the people, the deities and the gods and the fairies, the immortals live. So that comes on to what I wanted to say about, I thought the design set was really incredible, and the scope of the environment, the backdrop, was very beautifully visually designed and very grand in scale. Like it did feel like you were looking up on kind of this ethereal, mystical world, didn't it?
It was so colourful. Very colourful.
The place where Little Orchid lived, I forget. We were watching it with English subtitles, but I think it's called Xiaolanhua.
Something Hall.
Yeah, it was really beautiful where she lived.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was impressed with the scale of it. I would imagine it's got a bigger budget than Shanheling. Let us know, because yeah, it did seem like a really high quality production set. Although we did think some of the computer graphics were almost like funnily bad. There was the moments where they were trying to trap the devil, reseal him back in his
that was
location, and the lights that were coming up, the computer graphic for like the lights just seemed a bit, I don't know, it just didn't seem too good, which was remarkable, because then it like switched to a shot of her sat in kind of like a snowy island, which was so visually beautiful. Like the set design of that was fantastic. Yeah, we were shocked as well. There was quite a few funny moments in it, wasn't there?
Oh, that where she was trying to give him the basket of flowers, and she was trying to be really graceful and beautiful, and then she, I don't know, all went wrong, and she ended up
like
with her neck on her.
Didn't she? And I think that Esther Yu, the actress, I've got to be honest, she's not completely my cup of tea, because she does this thing with Wao Yin where she kind of like sounds like a baby, quite childlike. Yeah. And at times I find it a little bit too much. But what I do respect about her is that when they switched the bodies, she was very good at, you could really see a stark contrast between, obviously when she had the devil inside her, she had to act in a different manner, and we noticed that, didn't we? She's quite good at portraying both of the two different characters.
And especially for me, because obviously I'm looking at the English subtitles, so I'm quite slow sometimes to catch on, but I knew instantly that is what had happened, just because her demeanour completely changed. Yeah, so I agree with what you're saying about her voice, but clearly she's a really strong actress to switch from one character to the other, that you could instantly tell.
Yeah, I also think within the confines of the story, it's actually going to create a lot of curiosity and tension, the fact that she is this like really cutesy, really childlike, perfect graceful person, yet she's in the world with what they are basically stating is like the worst evil. So obviously that's like the tension of the show, isn't it? It's the fairy and the devil. It's going to be like how they interact with each other, how they face challenges, and how they go through the world.
And if they switch back bodies.
Yeah. It set it up in a really interesting place from episode 1 to see where they go. The kiss was really cheesy, wasn't it? Really cheesy. I think that's very, when we watched, I feel like they use romance in these kind of like 神侠, these kind of like mystical Chinese romance novels. 山河令 there was lots of like undercurrents of romantic tension, right? And they've built that already into this show. It was kind of out there. It's kind of a bit wacky, I've got to say. We didn't really understand the plot at times.
Sometimes.
Now it could be, and we accept this as criticism, we aren't fully up to speed with like the background of the show, because you know, often like if you watch a Western show, you might already know some of the story tropes, or you might know the characters, and so they don't put that much information in explaining like some of the tropes. You might already know it, but maybe we're missing some of those cultural things. So I think that the story as it is to the end of episode 1 has set up a really interesting world. Obviously this fairy who's perfect is trapped with the devil. They've swapped bodies and now they need to escape the place by destroying the matrix trap. So like it's going to be interesting to see what hijinks they get up to and how they interact with each other.
Are we going to be watching episode 2?
Well, I think we might be. Guys, if you do want us to watch episode 2, obviously give us some support in the comments. We've probably got a few things wrong about the show, so feel free to tell us what we've got wrong. But yeah, it's enjoyable to watch it. It's on Netflix in the UK, so it was really easy for me and Mum to sit down and watch it, and we enjoyed it. So yeah, let's keep doing it. Love between a fairy. No, it doesn't have A in it, the English.
Love between
fairy and devil. Yeah. Cool. Alright guys,如果你喜欢这个视频，请给我们点赞，还有一定要留给我们一个评论。好的，那么我们下次再见，拜拜。